with Jon Miller from Marketo. Now, Jon, you are no stranger to Dreamforce. You've been around for this event for a really long time. 45,000 people this year. The scale's incredible. How important is this ecosystem?
Sure. Well, it's very important. This is our 4th year sponsoring at Dreamforce. Each year we've moved up to a higher level of sponsorship, a bigger booth. We're about as big as you can get this year. And it really is critical because one of the things that we find is that as marketers and as sales executives are trying to think about how do I grow revenue and generate more, obviously they're using Salesforce, right, and that kind of system, but they need more to do it. So it's really the kind of thing that we do plus what Salesforce does that enables companies to really transform their revenue process. We really focus on the Salesforce ecosystem first and foremost. Over 85% of our customers use Salesforce.com. And that makes this show, the most targeted, most precise show for us, and it's why we spend so much and invest so heavily here.
Proves how important partners are as well, huh?
Absolutely, an ecosystem.
So I'm seeing Marketo all over the news these days. You guys are constantly being listed as a cool emerging technology company. I think was one of the things I saw recently. In such a competitive market, how do you stay ahead of all the innovation?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I actually don't think this so much is emerging anymore. We've actually kind of grown up a little bit. The award we're most proud of is winning, Best Marketing Solution from SIIA Magazine. That's something that back when I was at Epiphany 7-8 years ago, Epiphany came in as a runner-up. And so for Marketo to really win the best, to me, helps us see that we stood out. In terms of kind of the innovation and kind of staying ahead of the curve, I think we really, like any innovation story, you need to have a couple of different prongs, for success. The first, obviously, is listening to the market, listening to your customers. We do that all the time. We use Salesforce.com community and ideas to let people kind of talk back at us, and that's obviously hugely important. But I think there's two other things. The next is, and this is something we have that's kind of unique, is Marketo is one of our own customers, and I am probably one of the most sophisticated users of marketing automation there is. So I know exactly what we need and what companies like us need from a much more intimate level than the average company as a key user day to day. And as long as I'm always staying on the cutting edge of what marketers are trying to do for our own purposes, that helps us do it. And then I think the third leg of innovation comes from the founders. Right? All of Marketo's founders are still at the company, and we're still focused on some of the original vision that we had. When companies lose that original founder, that original visionary, like we see with Steve Jobs and Apple, it's really hard. It's much harder for the company to kind of continue to really stay innovative. When you have those founders, it helps a lot.
So you mentioned listening to the customers. Obviously, that's very important. Are the customers asking anything different today than maybe they were when you were here last year, given the rapidly changing marketplace with social and mobile?
Yeah, the reality is mobile, social, those types of buzzwords are still pretty much buzzwords for the vast majority of marketers. So if I look at kind of the mainstream, what marketers are trying to do, what the average person at the show is trying to do, I think most people are still just trying to get their heads around how do I transform my revenue process. So for them, I think the big change was maybe 2 years ago, marketing automation was this exotic thing. Nobody had ever even heard of revenue performance management, let alone marketing automation. Now you start to have some people saying, okay, I get it, I've been here, this is my 3rd Dreamforce, I've heard marketing automation, I've heard it again. I'm thinking about growing my revenue. What do I need to do? How do I get started? So it's a more sophisticated discussion about really using this technology to transform revenue.
That's great. That means you guys are in a really good position. So Mark is talking a lot about the social revolution. Is that what we're going to be looking at in the next year?
Well, there's no doubt that social has and is continuing to change the way people research and buy solutions, and it's changing therefore how companies need to generate revenue, work with their customers, etc. The trick is how do you actually incorporate some of those, the way that transforms what your customers are doing into your business practices. It's really about a lot of things that Mark is talking about, listening to what people are saying, not recognizing that you can't always wait for somebody to come to your site, and fill out a form before they're going to be a lead. Sometimes you need to listen to what they're doing on Facebook or Twitter, and sort of figure out, that's how it's appropriate for me. So there are some really deep changes that are going on. and it's just about having marketing and sales, change and adapt accordingly.
Well, Jon, thanks for taking the time with us. Best of luck to Marketo for the rest of the week, and I can't wait to see you guys and what you're doing in the next year.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks.